my iPad and it recorded. Hopefully, I can find it interview somewhere on my iPad after that.
Yeah, no problem. It's good
Okay,
to see
before we
you.
start, yeah. Because do you want to see my new sweater I made?
Ah, I love that so
I
much.
know. I showed
I
Jonathan over the weekend.
I saw that and I was telling Jonathan, I was like, we all need to get one so that we can wear them together.
Yeah, definitely. Before we start, I want to introduce two accompanies who are here with us tonight. We have Haley and we have B.
Hi, nice to meet you both.
All right. Well, Rustin, I really want to appreciate you for coming to the Cat Chat podcast to talk all
Absolutely.
about Finding Mr. Christmas Season 2.
I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you invited me. Thank you.
Okay, but before we dive in, tell me a little bit about yourself, like your background as an actor or musician.
Yeah, so I grew up in music. My parents met in a rock band. And so pretty early on, I was very interested in music. I grew up singing with my parents in church. And my mom would show me how to read the sheet music because I didn't know. I was like 4 or 5. And she was singing, and I could hear that she was singing something different than all the other people. And so she showed me what she was doing. I would follow along on the little notes. And so I learned music pretty early on. And it wasn't until I was in high school that I really started to do anything theater or, acting wise. Um, Technically, I did a little play when I was very, very small. I played Abraham Lincoln like at like 5 years old, but but that was just in school and wasn't anything I was professionally doing or anything along those lines. And then I started doing theater at when I was late in high school, and I've been doing musical theater for almost 20 years at this point. And I've always continued to write music because I just love it and it's therapeutic for me. And so that's kind of my background in music. And then I started doing film and TV a couple years ago, trying to get change things up because I really like the film medium. And so I started learning how to do that.
Awesome. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Finding Mr. Christmas. I was all about season 1. It was a great show. At first, I was a little bit hesitant because, like reality shows are like very
Yeah,
competitive. But once I watched it, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a healthy, competitive show because the guys will leave with a lot of friendship and a lot of memories and doors of opportunities open for everybody. So I talked to a couple of guys from season 1. My favorites are the Brandy, Daxton and Hayden. They're the best.
they are amazing. They're the kindest people. Yeah,
Definitely.
first season was so warm and welcoming and such a shift, a change from what most shows do when it comes to doing reality or unscripted TV. And when they reached out to me for the audition process, I had already seen season one, and so I was absolutely interested. And I would not otherwise be interested in doing reality TV show based on what I've seen in the past of other reality shows because they just have a tendency to kind of not be very authentic or kind to each other, and that's not something that I really align with and wanted to do. So when they reached out and I had seen season one, I was like, absolutely, absolutely. So I was very happy that they contacted me.
What did you think when you were contacted to try out for Finding Mr. Christmas? Again, what did you think? You were like, I'm not going to do the cheesy show. Not for me though. Did you Are you happy that you made the decision to go on Finding Mr. Christmas and just to get a whole lot of experience from the show?
Absolutely. I'm so happy that I went on to season two of Finding Mr. Christmas because it's such a departure from normal reality TV. It's so authentic and kind, and was and after I got involved, I well, after I saw first season, like I said, it was so wonderful to see like men getting the opportunity to be authentic and kind to each other as opposed to maybe being a little bit, not that. And that's more how I am. So I was excited to be able to pursue that, and it paid off more than I could have imagined. Obviously, me and the rest of the guys from season two have become extremely close, and that friendship has really grown into a brotherhood, and we all keep in touch and text each other constantly and are calling each other constantly to get involved with each other to help each other with anything. So
Definitely. Again, you thought season one because I asked Logan, Angel, and Robbie. I will have Craig on at some point. So we're
oh
working on
great.
it. I was to do prep for the show about watching season one. All of them said that except for one. I was so you should run in the show blind, not knowing what to expect, and this could be very exciting and scary at the same time. So you start season one. What did you do to prep yourself? Did you know, okay, I know what kind of things to expect, but it's not going to be the same games or challenges or anything. Because Jonathan really stepped up this season. I mean, I talked to him after every episode. I was like, dude, really? He goes, yeah, why not? These guys gotta work for the Hallmark Lady Man spot. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he did such an incredible job this season with all the new types of challenges. It was such a level up from last year, just continuously pushing us as the contestants and the show being able to deliver great content for all of the watchers, the viewers. And yeah, I think I watched season one just as a fan of Hallmark last year, and a fan of Jonathan Bennett, and so I already had fallen in love with the show. I thought it was wonderful, and like I said, I loved the opportunity for guys to be able to connect, and the idea to for not known actors to be able to pursue this amazing opportunity. And so when I watched season one, I mentally took notes. So when they contacted me about season two and I was accepted to come on to the show, I think I just prepared myself to be available for anything. I wanted to come in and be the best version of myself, just connect with everybody, love on everyone, and just kind of see where it took me. So that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, it's definitely a wild show and very excited. I look forward to every episode. Like, but the elimination just like really hurt my heart and about it. Like, you didn't really need to go that night or that one, but I'm on my fantasy bracket. I lost that night,
Oh
but I won the
no.
other two nights. So I'm like, next week, it could be a little bit of tough on, I'm like between two guys.
Oh.
And Jonathan was the who do voted for from the from show number one, episode number one. As soon as I saw Rustin walking that door, I was like, he's the Hallmark leading man, hands down. I was all
That's
for
so
you since the
sweet.
first episode of the show. I'm still rooting for you all the way to the final round.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've received just so much love from everybody and encouragement, and it's nice to see the effort as not just a person but also as an actor, and not just an actor but also as a person come across on TV and have people receive that well. Because we all try to be the best version of ourselves, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's gonna love what we choose to do. And everyone's been really, really kind for everything that I've chosen to do in the show, so it's great.
Definitely. What was your reaction when you first approached to the big house decorating with Christmas, getting ready to start the finding Mr. Christmas journey?
It was beautiful, just absolutely stunning. It was exactly what you would want to see from a Hallmark house, a Finding Mr. Christmas house. It was stunning and gorgeous and huge, and it was exactly what I would want for a Christmas house because it's in the mountains and there's so much wood and there were so many Christmas trees and the decorations were top tier. So I was really excited to be able to be a part of that experience immediately. That just kind of brought the Christmas in, and that was super exciting to start the show that way.
Yeah, that every time I see that house, I'm like, I'm gonna move in. I want that house. I
Yeah.
wanna move in. It's big,
Yeah.
spacious, everything.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning, and every room is more beautiful than the other rooms. It's just it's an amazing house. So
In the house, you got, I know, I can't remember because I know some of you guys go to the house for the day, just to hang around, do the quality challenges, and get ready for whatever challenge you have to do for the show. Then after the filming of it, then you guys go back to a hotel. You don't really necessarily stay at the house.
no, we spent every day at the house and got to shoot every day at the house together, which was amazing. And every day waking up in
Okay.
the house was incredible. Being able to wake up with all those decorations and be in the same place together was amazing. So.
Awesome. Who tend to, do you guys take turns cooking, making breakfast, or how did that work? Because I'm not really shown on camera or the show, but I'm curious. I'm wondering if these guys are cookers, bake, or they take turns making breakfast, or they just DoorDash every night.
I would say that there were definitely times where people were wanting food at hours that some of us weren't interested in cooking or going to sleep, and so there were times that we obviously had food on set because it's still a crew, but I got to wake up a lot of the times. I love cooking and baking, and so I made cookies a couple times, and I made breakfast a few times, and everyone would pitch in and kind of make breakfast and alternate who would cook. And then when we would be off doing challenges or not on the house set, other people would obviously provide meals, and we would have crew food. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious because there was a food all over there. Hopefully, throughout the filming, the guys eat or take care of themselves because I know in each episode, I think it was the last episode with Ashley Williams. I just love
Incredible.
that episode. I watched every single guy, but when you came on, like you were like, okay, what can we do to help you get ready for the scene? And you just stood in there, took a moment to look at her eyes and try to make a connection before you should dive into the scene. I was just like, oh my God. I told my friend was like, are you going to have Rustin look at you for like 10 seconds before you start the podcast? I'm like, maybe I might should have to do
We
that
should have
because
done that. All right, all right. Give me your hands.
I just love that. I just really love that. How it's just because it's a really good strategy, a really good move trying to connect with the Hallmark lady lady before you dive into a game. So I think that game you did a fabulous job. And all the other guys did a fabulous job. There was a little bit of like Davey. I love Davey so much. I was like, please stop eating the grape. And just I mean, like, no. And I was one blue brownie point taken off, and I was so sad to see him go. I was like, I know the food and you can eat, but just please stop eating grapes and just try to connect with Ashley.
Yeah, I know. I was blown away. So when we do each of those scenes, especially scenes like that, first off, I had to connect with Ashley because we don't get to meet our co-stars before we do the scene. The way you see it in the show is really how they do that with us too. We don't get to meet them. So that moment with that actress or actor, we it's so important if you want to connect with them to take a second and connect with those people. Otherwise, it feels kind of rushed, and you feel relatively disconnected or unprepared to be able to do the scene. And when we were watching the episode on Monday, I had no idea that Davey had done that because we don't get to see everybody do their scenes with the other actors or actresses. And so I was blown away. I was like, "Oh no, Davey, stop eating the grapes, dude. Just connect." But we all have our own tendencies when we're nervous or have a lack of experience in one type of challenge versus another. And I think he did such an incredible job still, so whatever.
Definitely. Now from the show, what is one thing that you learned from the show, and what is one thing that you will take back with you after all the show? What is one very important thing that you learned about yourself or about the whole thing from being on the show?
I would say that the most important thing that I got from the show was that I am allowed to be me and that I have something to offer that no one else has to offer, but that there's a support system of guys who think and feel like me, and that community is so important to me. That's actually something I've been searching for a really long time, and something that I've struggled with not having. Not a lot of people generally feel or think like I do and view the world the way that I do, and it's separated me from having a really close community. And so, especially in the entertainment industry, it's really nice to know that there are other people like me.
Definitely. I'm going to, let's see, the the knocking down the Christmas tree. I'm telling you, I mean, every time I read seen all of the challenges for every episode, I was like, that gotta be tough. Or be like,
Ugh.
oh, that's not too bad. Or, but everybody says it's tough, but that it look. Because I'm like, but you, Angel, Robbie, going all over the place. I was like, oh my goodness, Angel was like on the prowl. I was just like knocking down the tree. So out of all six episodes with all the challenges, how did you feel about them? What was your reaction for anyone or all of these dog quality challenges to compete?
Well, I would say that for the acting challenges, I think one of the things that's been really wonderful is that I don't think I let myself think about the scale of the people I was working with. I think that the most important thing to me was that I wanted to just be authentically me, connect with everybody the same, whether I was acting with them, whether they were competing with me, whether or not they were in the crew that was supporting the show. For me, it was important to connect with everybody the same because I think people have a tendency to develop different perspectives that take away from the artistry, and I wanted to make sure that everybody felt connected with and important because we wouldn't be able to do this without everyone. So that actually helped me in the acting scenes because I'm already doing that every day. I'm connecting with everybody as much as I possibly can because I just want to love on people. So that kept me calm in the acting scenes. But the rest of the physical challenges, that was different because it's not the same. It's not an opportunity just to connect with people. You have to go out there and hustle, either like, falling over the presents in the last one where we had to be quiet in Santa's shop, and you just never know what's around each of the corners, or the ball one, the big ball one. I hustled the best that I could, but if you fall and you trip and there's this, you got to pick yourself up as fast as possible, and also you can't see which tree is yours throughout the whole tree farm, so you just kind of have to run around and hope that you're gonna run across one that's yours. Yeah, each one had like such a unique way of being extremely challenging, and having to think on your feet as fast as you possibly could. Like, definitely kept us on our toes.
Yeah, I mean, I would start watching the Santa challenge where everybody had to go in the room quietly. I was just like, I was like covering my eyes for everyone. And I was just like, only market with a, I'm like, market, market, did not drop the basket.
I,
And
cr-
Davey was just
uh,
like, I was like, dude, your father, you should be able to know these kind of things. To open the door quietly and be out trying to get out of the door. And but the bubble wrap, the wrapping paper, the gingerbread, that tough. I know that, but
uh,
that open. Everybody, I'm like, you bear. That every time the button goes off, I'm like, I don't know who's gonna win the challenge, but
yeah,
Marcus was really good.
amazing job. Yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny too because I remember when I was standing at the spot that Marcus was standing, I was like, should I jump? And I was like, no, because I thought that I would get disqualified or knock a bunch of stuff over if I jumped. And so I was like, no, 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 I'll just go ahead and try to like be as quiet as possible. And when I heard that he did that, I was like, oh no. Of course and of course, after you knock something over, you're like, oh, I should have seen that, but you know, you do your best.
I was like, I was so shocked. I was like, he jumped. I was like, oh, no, 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 because you never know the table will be wobbly or something. No, 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 no. He jumped. I was like, okay, okay, maybe. But oh man, all of these challenges are just like
Yeah.
beyond crazy, especially with the hill with all the dope on the body with the head with the candy cane. I was like, oh God, oh no, oh no. So how was that? I mean, I probably was harder than it looked because I was like, for me, I was like, oh, I could do that easy, but after watching you guys, I'm like, never mind, maybe I should go down instead of going up.
Yeah, of all the challenges, that is probably the most difficult in comparison to how it looks. Like it's way more difficult than it actually looks. You would think, oh, I'll just crawl up, or I'll just whatever you think is the right way to do it. It's just too slippery. The strongest guys, the tallest guys, the biggest guys that would normally be really athletic and capable, they were really, really struggling. So it was the people who were light on their feet, and they ended up finding like a little path that was maybe less slippery, and they used it and took the challenge.
Were there any of the games like with games with Ashley Williams, games with Hunter King, games with Ali Sweeney, Heather Hemmens, and yeah, Janel Parrish? Were there any of the games that you feel that you were not confident in, or you feel that you should have done differently? But from what you do and everybody else on every show, I would say you were probably the most confident of everybody besides Marcus. And maybe Craig got a little bit of a, attractive joker. But I think out of all the guys, you were very confident, you knew what you're gonna do, and you just went with it. So I'm just curious from their perspective and their experience, which of those you feel who didn't really do good at, or who didn't really give at much compared to the other challenges.
Honestly, I don't feel like I did my absolute best to connect with the other actresses. And depending on the scene, we only get a few minutes with the script, and that obviously can be pretty challenging. But no, I felt very confident with the choices that I made and my ability to connect with the other person, and that's all that I could offer. Uh, there's definitely an artistry to acting when you make a choice, and then it's not up to you to make a different choice. It's up to the director to direct you to make a different choice. But as long as you're authentically making a choice, and you're making a choice that feels like creatively is what you're trying to do, that's the best thing to do. And then it's up to the director to be able to make a change, or to other actors to be able to work with you and then do a different take with different choices. But we didn't. we didn't do that. We get one take in every scene. So it was up. I thought that the best path moving forward was again to just be as calm and connected with the people that I was with. And I felt very confident in that being the best that I could bring.
Yep. How did you guys? I know I thought a little bit behind the scenes for you and the group to prep your scenes and your clip with Hunter King. And three of you just like really clear down that I like that group. I mean, you and Craig and just was just like I was like, okay, what's happening here? I feel like it was very authentic and everything just kind of blown with the scene with Hunter with the two brothers and her bringing in her boyfriend. So how was that? Because I know you were trying to figure out what are we doing over here? So it gives you a little bit of a power or direction of how you want the game to look and turn out.
Yeah, so when I was working with Robbie and Marcus on the scene with Hunter, and it was the three of us working on the scene with Hunter, right? Robbie and I actually were very much on the same page about what it is that we were looking for. You don't get as much of an opportunity in the show when you watch the show to see the rest of our interactions, but in between the parts you did get to see, Robbie was giving a significant amount of feedback to me, and we were giving ideas back and forth and agreeing on a lot of things. And in the way that the show is shown, you mostly see me sort of taking charge, which is fine. But Robbie and I were very much on the same page and contributing a lot to each other. And Marcus was in complete agreement with all the things that we thought would be best. And a lot of the time when you're doing something like this, whether it's on stage or in film and TV or a modeling shoot or anything along those lines, some of those things naturally just kind of flush themselves out through conversation. So, I know that Craig and Davey and Angel probably experience the same. When you look at the script and you go, these two are brothers, and this person is like, the boyfriend. It kind of seemed relatively obvious, just due to like what Robbie and I bring energetically. We seem more like brothers, and Marcus has such a like charming, endearing personality that it made sense for him to be the kind of innocent boyfriend that was showing up and kind of bombard him with being brotherly and messing with him. So, yeah, if there was uh any other perception than that, that's just how it came across in the show, but how it was in person. So,
Going on back to the reindeer
mm.
challenge. Like I had like the challenge like going up and the queen, but before we get into that, how did you feel about when the guy picked you at Donner? Because I talked with Logan, I was like Craig, Robbie, or whatever that team did a very bold move. And they were like, oh, let's get there to Rustin, let's get there to the. I was like, that's gotta be too easy. And Craig would be like, no, we're gonna give them exactly the opposite. So I was like, oh, that should be interesting. So I feel Donna was a good choice because, of course, you feel you know what you're doing, you're confident, but also Donna seems like a proud type or very silent or very strong or capable. So when you were given Donna, what were your thoughts and how would you prepare yourself to be in Donna's character for the photo shoot?
Well, the beauty of the photo shoot was that I don't have to talk in it. So it was actually okay that they gave me a character that was like the strong silent type. And obviously it was relatively comedic because I do speak a lot. I know that when I converse that I will often be relatively verbose, or long-winded. But I thought it was a fun challenge for me to be able to kind of reframe how to look at myself and just be confident in this quiet, strong, confident type. And it made the challenge more fun for me. But the modeling component was hard. It was really hard. We're up in the air and you have to just figure out. You don't know what you look like up in the air. you have no idea if what you're doing looks good. You have to just kind of trust that the photographers are giving you good feedback, that Jonathan is giving us good feedback, that we instinctively know what we look like and if it looks good on camera, and you just don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was watching all of you guys and all of the posting and everything else that going up there, especially with the cable right in the way. So every guy trying to like move, pose like this, and trying to like look over here. So I didn't see very much of Heather, but I'm hoping she did a little bit of a feedback. But like you said, there was not a lot of talking because there was the photo shoot. But when I saw the posting and the final picture, I was like, oh my God. I told Shannon that I'm like, I want that poster. Please. You gotta find a way to get me that poster, not from a magazine. I mean, literally, like a full-blown poster. With everyone and
You
all the
should.
reindeer, the
Yeah.
characteristics, the personality, just brings out every single one of you in that photo shoot. And of course, Jonathan standing proud at Santa Claus on the sleigh.
Yeah, Heather was super helpful and gave us a lot of feedback along the way as well. And Wes and Alex, the photographers, extremely professional and so constructive when they're giving us feedback, and they know what they're looking for because they're just very experienced. Um, but absolutely, you'll have to get the poster, and that'll be your next sweater.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For the small little challenges like the first show, everybody had to create their own Santa. So of course, Rockstar Santa, because obviously music is your thing. So I want to talk about a little bit about the Rockstar Santa versus the Gingerbread house, where you kind of like left it all open so you could see the dinner, the stage, the village, the people, and then going on to the talent show, which just brought out your music abilities. So how did you, was that part of yourself that you wanted to prove yourself that you love music and it was a big part of your life from going from the rock star Santa to the gingerbread and ending up with the talent show?
Yeah, I thought that the Rockstar Santa was probably the easiest way to just have one specific way of identifying it, especially with my long hair and beard. It made the most sense to be like, yeah, you know. But yeah, just I wanted to introduce the music into it and my ability to and my experience to sing and play music. And it was so cool that we had the opportunity to share a little bit more about ourselves in the Gingerbread House competition portion. And it made all the sense to me as soon as they said each of the homes are going to be part of a village. I was like, well, I'm going to make a theater. That was my first instinct was I'm going to make a theater out of this house. And then I noticed that everyone was sort of doing their own house. They weren't like building different parts of an actual town. And I was like, okay, well, I still want people to see that I do stuff on stage. I like performing. This was a huge portion of my life, and so of course it made a lot of sense to be able to share such an incredible experience with my dad, wanting that for me and being able to facilitate me being a performer. That obviously set me on a different path the rest of my life than I would have if my dad hadn't done that. My dad was so integral into me growing up with that experience and that changing and shaping who I've become. So of course it made sense to share that with everybody so that they could see a little bit of that experience from me. And then obviously for the talent show portion, it made the most sense to be able to then get an opportunity to actually do that. And I had looked at a couple of different songs that I wanted to perform. And I happened to land on that one. I thought it was a song that I feel that I wrote well and connected a lot with me. And since I had written it, it seemed like a fun thing to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I was really touched with all the talent shows and all of the talent. And it was just bring down something personal from each one of
Yeah.
you. And then when the got judge, Alicia and Gail asked the question, and then you were sharing a little bit about your past and how your life changed from car crash. I mean, and when I listened to that, I kind of like resonated with you because my family, my dad, my husband, and my two kids were in like a multi-chain car crash when we were living in Mississippi about not it was like 9 years ago. So I was just like, wow, so I really could relate with the recovery and like to almost like to that experience and recovery and have to be able to do everything all over again. But once you get past all of these overcomes and obstacles, you become a stronger person. So my son was only 4 when that happened. So I could say children are very resilient than adults. Adults may take longer time for recovery, but children are still young and they're still developing and they're still growing. They have more chances to have a full recovery and be more resilient compared to adults. So I should have to share a little bit of that story, but I was just like,
Well,
okay,
thanks,
this one
Kat.
got me hurt.
I appreciate you sharing it, and I'm so glad that you all are okay. You survived, and I, even though kids are resilient and it can be easier to heal when you're younger. I'm sure that was still such a traumatic experience, and I'm glad you're all safe and okay. And I appreciate you sharing.
Definitely, yeah, it was a long journey, but then, but right now he's in 8th grade, going to a high school, and he's my last baby. So I'm just like, I'm not ready for that yet. And I have a daughter who's a sophomore in high school, so my house is full of teens. I have no baby, no nothing. I should follow my brother's kids because he has a 2-year-old, 1-year-old, and a 7-month-old. Okay, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So out of the whole experience, and there something that you wish you had a second chance in or redemption in any of the challenges or any moment of the show.
I think that I I'm so proud of what I did in the show. And I don't really think that there's anything else I could have done in the moment with the experience I previously had any better, any different. And different would have just been different, but as long as I was bringing everything I could bring, it wouldn't necessarily be any better. I will say that I was so bummed on the slippery hill challenge. I definitely would have. I was so. What's funny, Kat, is that you just mentioned my accident. On that one in particular, I was so nervous to injure myself. That was the only time in the whole show that I was kind of like, I was hesitant to maybe physically push myself and slip and fall and hurt something. And so I was pretty hesitant in that challenge. If you notice, if you watch the episode, you don't really see me very much because I was really trying to take it easy, and also make sure everyone else was okay because as an EMT, I did want to make sure that if anyone was hurt, it was not me because then I wouldn't be able to be very helpful. So I was, yeah, I was a little hesitant on that one. So maybe I would challenge myself just a little bit more on that, but everything else I'm happy with. So.
Yeah, definitely. You just like have to make sure to look out for yourself for each of the challenges that I put in. Nothing can go wrong with Jonathan and Melissa because from watching Jonathan and Melissa from season 1 up until now, they have really been nothing but more supportive. And they give all of you guys guidance and trying to like open people up in the show and show us you, show us who you are, show us what you can do or what you're made out of. Like from the Santa Bastion show, I watched everybody. I'm gonna be honest with you, I watched every episode, maybe 3 times every episode. No, 3 times I will watch each episode over and over and over again just to look at the guys and how they act and how they open up themselves and if they're closing more each episode or open up each episode like what was it? Gabriel, he was like standing there for the fashion show. And Davey was like, it's okay, go ahead, everybody's here for you. Who cares what they think? Just go for them, Melissa or Jonathan. So that's the kind of a reality show or competition show that we need more of than just, I don't know, trashy like The Bachelor or something else. But I think it was healthy because you guys form a lifetime bond after you leave the show and everything. So I'm sure if you guys hang out after every episode or watch parties or press or anything, so it's really nice to have a kind of a show like that. And the
Yeah,
host with support and guidance, not like, oh, you need to do better at that. You should have gone this
right,
way instead of that way. It's
right.
nothing but positive and the charm.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that, when you watch the show, the actual episodes, they're so fast, you only get to see so much of the behind the scenes or like the interaction between Jonathan and Melissa. But really, when we filmed this, Jonathan and Melissa actually spoke to us way more with way more support and encouragement. And we really felt very loved and supported in the process that we were going through in the show. You get to see that in the show, but like there was just so much more of it. We all felt so much more confident because we knew that we had their support and encouragement, and it's definitely extremely authentic with them. Like what you see on the show is very much how they are the rest of the time, and the same with all the guys. That's the other thing too, is that um, thanks to Lindsay Lyles, thanks to the rest of the team for casting people who they thought were going to be authentically themselves on the show, because everyone is the way that you see them in the show. They're just so kind and connect with you. And obviously, that I think that's more interesting. You get to see people's personal growth instead of it just being about other manufactured drama.
So out of the guys on the show, whatever, what, who do you feel most connected or who do you feel most bonding with that you have like a good friendship with? I know you're friends with everybody, but is there like a specific guy that you could be like vaccinated with and you could share the same path or the same experiences from the show?
Yeah, so I think Robbie and I connected day one, and we've actually kept in touch a significant amount. I flew out to New York and hosted one of the episode airings with him in New York, which was so fun. And I would say that him and I have become pretty close. And then Angel and I have played golf like 15 times. We've gone to dinner a ton. We've gone and hung out with friends and coffee, and like we spent a lot of time together. And I think obviously we all generally love each other, but Angel and I have gotten to spend the most time with each other. So he was here in LA, and we just got to spend so much more time together. So
Okay, last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you see yourself doing in 5 years? I ask
that
every guy that not just you, just plan your life a little bit. I'm just curious where do you think you will be in 5 years? A musician, 25 Hallmark movies, well, not 25, couple of Hallmark movies or another open acting opportunity.
yeah, well, I'll say this. Here are my goals generally for the next foreseeable future. I want to do a Broadway show. I want to come out with a
Mm.
full length Christmas album and perform that album at like
Mm.
major performance events like Christmas shows and in person, and maybe even have a residency somewhere famous or something along those lines. And then I want to do movies. I want to be the lead actor in my own movie. And I want to do more of them, but at least one. Yeah, those are my goals moving forward from right now.
Hopefully I make it to one of the Broadway shows if you happen to be one of them. I'm going to do Rustin to see Rustin in Broadway.
100%. If I get into a when I get into a Broadway show, you're coming. I'll bring you backstage. We'll go to dinner, everything.
But gee, Oh yeah, for sure. But Cat Jack going behind the game, just walk the
Absolutely.
path. Definitely. I was behind the game for Kansas City Christmas experience for Hallmark this
Oh,
past
cool.
weekend.
Yeah.
So much fun. Oh my
I
gosh.
saw all the
I love
pictures and video you were
Jonathan.
doing.
Jonathan and James. I'm just like, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But okay, what's your favorite Christmas tradition or holiday tradition you like to do with the family?
I so I've gone back and forth. I would say that I love my mom and I bake a lot of cookies together, and we'll have Hallmark movies on, and we bake cookies a bunch together, which is it's
I
just
love baking cookies. My
I
favorite.
love it. I love it. It's just you're doing it together, and it's hands on, and you the smells in the house, and oh, I absolutely love it. And you can change things and get creative or try new recipes. That's a huge tradition for me. But I will say that one of my favorite holiday traditions that I get to be a part of, but it isn't something I'm doing, is my mom every year gives us a Christmas Eve gift as a family, and it's always matching Christmas pajamas. So that way we get to wake up Christmas morning with matching Christmas pajamas.
Oh, I do the same thing with my family. I try to do matching. Yeah, I try to do
I
matching
love
pajamas. Everything. My kids were little, but now they're teenagers. I was like, can you please do it for your mom? They're like, tapped only if I could pick the blender pan. I'm like, okay. And then my son is like, oh, I'll be in the picture. Take a video, take a picture of my daughter. Like, two pictures. And I must approve them. I'm like, okay. So I love matching PJs. I try to do that for every Christmas. And my son will be like, I want to wear the pajamas from last year. I'm like, honey, you grew. You're taller than me. I promise you those pajamas won't fit you anymore. Because I'm like, I buy you better pajamas this year.
it.
So we have like a white t-shirt with our name, with our first letter of our name, and our name on the bottom with
Oh,
a Santa
cute.
hat. So
Love
I'm
it.
planning to pan so that's the pajamas for a Christmas picture this year. Two of them per
I
my daughter.
lo- I love that idea. Yeah, it's definitely changed over the years for us because, when you're kids and you all kind of can wear the same thing and it can be really cute. And then you start to have your own style and your opinions about what you should wear. And so my mom's done such an incredible job of trying to meet us wherever we're at in those different stages of life and find something that seems still like special to us or special to her, and she's just so good at being creative about that.
You do have a favorite Christmas movie. It could be any Christmas movie or a Hallmark Christmas movie.
I mean, Home Alone 2 is probably my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Seeing the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, and and just when he comes up to Macy's the first time, it's just like it's so magical. Or Duncan's toy chest in the they just Duncan's toy chest in the thing, but yeah, I just it's so magical. And Central Park when you see it during the daytime, I feel the most spirited and holiday when I go to New York because of all of the lights and decorations. So I think maybe that's just personal for me, but I love it.
Yeah, I went to Con last year for
Oh,
I went 2 days early because the couple and my girlfriend we call it the Heinies because of Tyler Hine. But we spent a full day in New York City. We went to Times Square, we went to the World Trade Center, we went to Macy's, we went to the Rockefeller Tree, we went to different places. And then we were working our way back to the train station, and we saw Macy's. It's beautiful. I was just like, I need to come back here with my family, or come back here sometime to watch some Broadway shows and just enjoy the magic of Christmas. It's beautiful. But this year I'm not going early because it was delivered too long from being away from home. My son was like, you're gone too long. 5 days is too long. I was like, you're alive. You're fine. So I'm going for 5 days again this year, but I'm not going to tour New York the time. I'm just gonna hang back at the hotel before the event.
Well, it's so cool that you're getting to do that and it's becoming a tradition for you. This year, the Macy's storefronts are stunning. So if you do get a chance to go look at them, you should because they're beautiful. Also, the last time I was out in New York last week, I found my favorite croissant. Now I don't wanna blast that out. So you message me and I'll send you the address for the place that has my favorite croissant.
Okay, I will definitely. Okay, to wrap up everything on the podcast, I want to give you an opportunity. If you have any comment or if you have any questions you want to ask.
Well, excuse me. No, I would say that first off, thank you. It's so nice to connect with you and you've been so supportive and I'm so appreciative. I know that we all are, but I in particular I'm just so thankful for you. I think it's so wonderful that you are so excited about this show and Hallmark and that you made a sweater. Like it's so heartwarming to know that our experience is making a connection for other people to connect with us. It's just that's what it's all about. That makes me really happy and thankful. And hopefully we can just continue to do that. You can always reach out to me and everyone else can as well because I just want this community to get bigger and happier and we all get to share in these experiences together.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to that couple of episodes of Finding Mr. Christmas. And I'm just like, Jonathan, don't disappoint me, please. You know, because when I see someone, because well, you're gonna have to find out in a couple of weeks because I'm not telling you. I was no matter what I do or what I say, he goes, nope. You're gonna have to find out yourself. But yeah, hopefully the next couple of episodes will be good and interesting. I really like all the twists with all of the challenges. Like some people get a second chance and some people do immunity. I was just like, okay, those were very tense. So I'm very excited to see how the show wraps up and see who's gonna be in the next Hallmark movie. So I'll be doing a review of the Hallmark movie for the not leading man.
Well, I'm in the next episode, as you know, since I made it through this last week. So I know that you're gonna love that one. All the challenges are wonderful, and you're gonna continue to be surprised and happy with how they've turned out. And then we'll see what happens to the rest of the show. But I know that you're gonna just love the whole process, and everyone's such an incredible job of making this such a magical show. So I'm glad everyone's getting a chance to connect with it.
Well, okay, thank you so much, Rustin, for coming on to the Cat Chat
Of
podcast.
course.
For those of you out there who watch Finding Mr. Christmas, make sure you tune in the next couple of episodes to see who gets crowned in Mr. Christmas, and make sure to follow Rustin Taylor on Instagram as well as Cat Chat podcast to get all the behind the scenes clips, funny clips, whatever you name it. So check us out on Instagram. Thank you for watching us. Thank you, Rustin.
Thank you. I
Have a
appreciate you
great
so.
night.
Thanks, Kat. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for helping. I appreciate you guys for talking with us. It means a lot. So,
Well, good luck for the next couple of episodes. I'm just having my fingers crossed for you.
well, thanks.
Yeah.
I hope I
All
don't
right.
disappoint you. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it.
Take care, Rustin. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Have a good
All right.
night.
Talk to you later. You too. Good night, guys.